Hello, welcome. Welcome
Yeah.
to Shine Collective. Um, I'm trying to host these like every couple of weeks just so we can touch base and have a chat. And if anyone, I'm just going to pop you on mute, Lani. And if anyone has any questions or queries or anything coming up, you guys can bring this. As I said, it's going to be every couple of weeks. And I'm also going to choose to do a little bit of like product info too. I'm going to go over 2 products today, and slowly we're just kind of chipping away at the whole range. But I just want to answer a couple of queries that when I put up a question box in the Instagram chat, there were 2 things that people replied to, and that was I asked, are there any things that are feeling a bit sticky, or are you needing any support with anything? And one of the things was, I don't feel comfortable talking about the business because I'm not making much money yet. And this is honestly everyone in the beginning, right? Like before we get our first paycheck, it's like we haven't made any money. How can I talk about the business? But there's still so much to say. You can still share about all the benefits that you know about the business, like things that you know are possible, even if you haven't achieved them yet. Like maybe you have seen someone else's achievements, maybe you've seen someone else retire their husband, maybe you've seen someone else pay the grocery bills. Like when I started, that was all I knew about this business. I wasn't following anyone else except for Jess, so I had no idea what was possible. And she shared that she had covered her grocery shopping with her paycheck. And for me, I was like, I'd love to do that. Like that's all I want. And that was just 1 or 2 paychecks covering her market shop that I was like already like that's enough for me to be like I want to do that. Like that could make a difference for my family. That would be make a difference in my life. So don't feel like you need to be talking about your 5-figure paycheck before you start enrolling market partners or sharing about the business opportunity. Like definitely don't wait till that point, because you wouldn't make it to that point, right, if you didn't start talking about it sooner. So there's so much to share. Like we get paid 5 times a month. That's something you can share even if you haven't even got your first paycheck. That's something that you know is possible. We get paid on anything we sell, any commission on products sold, product packs. We're going to get money for that. Some companies require you to hit a like a threshold to unlock your commission, but Monet isn't like that. And that's such a plus for being partnered with this company. So that's something you could talk about as well. Like you don't need to pay a monthly fee. You don't need to put through a monthly order. You don't need to be out of pocket every month at all to earn your commission to keep your business open. So that's a massive benefit as well. And then there's all the other perks that we know about being a market partner, like the 30% discount, the high B, I see you've just joined. How wonderful. The 30% discount, the travel incentives, the car incentive, all of that extra stuff, the like freedom to work from home, around your life, around your kids, whatever you want is possible. And that's like so much to share already, even before you start getting paid. And also remember, like I said, like all I needed to know was that I could cover my grocery shopping every month, and I'm sorry, every week, to know that that was possible. That was enough for me. So, don't don't dumb down. I can't think of the right word, but like don't belittle what you're already earning and where you're already at, because for someone else, like that's enough for them to want to get started. And then also just like the endless opportunity that is available beyond just covering the groceries every week. So yeah, plenty to share about even before your first paycheck, all those things that you have seen are beneficial in this business, and also like casting your vision. Like you don't need to have achieved all of that to cast your vision, to say to whoever's watching, your followers, like this is where I want to go with this opportunity. This is what I'm doing with this vehicle. For example, like this came from Justina, this comment. So I'm just going to use her as an example, but if it's I want to retire myself from my FIFO job, I don't want to be working FIFO in 12 months, and this is my vehicle, this is what it's going to do for me. Like, it's going to give me the opportunity to make an income and build a business in the next 12 months where I don't need to work FIFO because, my goals are to, and I'm just like making this up because I obviously don't know like her in-depth goals, but possibly, I want to have a stable base or like have roots somewhere, whatever that is, like casting that vision out to your community so that they can kind of see where you're going. Because when you cast that vision, you're actually catching people's attention that might also be visionaries, and you know what that opens up for them, and it allows them to also dream big. And if they hear you're going for this huge goal, or you've got this like amazing like dream that you're bringing to life, like people, that's contagious. Like people hear that, and it starts to open up in them their own dreams and their own possibilities and what they're capable of and what's actually out there and available with this opportunity. So do not feel like you need to be like ticking off your big goals before you even start to talk about this at all. Like, bring people on the journey with you, and the ones that will want to journey with you, they will come. Like, but you need to speak about that travel, that trip, that journey, like not actual physical trip, but just that journey that you have ahead of you and where you're going to, so that the ones that want to join you can see where you're going and they can join you. That's all I have to say about that. And the next part, kind of, the next comment, it kind of is the same kind of thing, like market partner recruitment. So feeling sticky about market partner recruitment. For this, I always recommend going back to your IPAs, which are income producing activities. Like, there are so many things that we can be doing, but some of them don't actually correlate with creating income. So like, you could be listening to like all the training calls every day, all day, and going through all of our resources, but is that actually going to help you create any income? Like, no, it's like assisting you, and it is putting things in motion, but it's not actually putting anything into action. So motion is good, right? And preparation is good, but we actually need to step into action for things to happen. And that's what income producing activities are. So I will send through a graphic of income producing activities for market partner recruitment, but it's things like going live, scheduling in an opportunity call, inviting people to your opportunity call, sharing like reels of success stories, like your success story, where you're at, other people's sidelines, your mentor, whatever you've seen out there that's been inspiring to you, that speaks to you specifically, because usually if it's speaking to you, it's going to speak to your community as well. So sharing those things that have really moved you. Maybe there was something that you saw or you remember seeing before you joined that made you think, okay, like, that's it, I'm going to do it. Or maybe it was a compounding of something else that you saw. You kept on seeing that. You kept on seeing someone talk about the 5 paychecks a month, or you kept on seeing someone talk about staying home and not having to go back to work after their babies. And maybe it was that made you think, okay, I want to do that. So sharing, success stories. It doesn't need to be yours, other people's success stories, lives. Like, I know they're scary, but honestly, like, we hear it all the time. Jess will tell you, Ivy will tell you, Krista, all our mentors will tell you that lives are so, so important, and they do translate into market partner recruitment. Like, I don't know if you remember, before you became a market partner, did you watch a live? Did it like speak to you? Like, was there ever a live that you watched where you were captivated and you wanted to listen, you needed more information? Like, lives are so important for building trust with the community, and it's a really good space where people will get to know you, and it's a bit more like casual. It's not as maybe scripted or edited as much as in our stories, because we can change and chop up things in stories and things like that. But lives are a bit more real and raw. Like, you know, the camera's going and you're speaking, or you've got a sideline and you're having a chat, but they are super important for market partner recruitment, and they really, really do make a difference. Like as like not as even a conscious experiment, but when I think back in November, I went through a big live kind of like marathon almost. I was doing them a lot more regularly than I usually do them. I don't know why. I just kind of got into a habit. I was also like waking up early. So I was trying to do a live in the morning. And I, this has never happened to me in the whole year. This had never happened to me, but I had 10 people reach out to me about the opportunity during November and into December. And I know it's because of my lives that I was doing in November. And out of those 10 that reached out, I've had 3 of them come on board as a market partner, or at least buy market partner packs with the opportunity, like maybe they're available for them. So I know that they totally work. They are scary, but the more you do, the better, or the more comfortable, I should say, they feel. And I do find that, like, if you grab someone a sideline or grab your mentor, grab your upline, I do find that they feel each to their own. Like, some people might find those ones a little bit more challenging, but I do find like those ones a little bit easier if you're feeling a bit freaked out about them because they can be quite scary. I would say just set yourself a task of a 5-minute live. Like, if you've never gone live before, or if it's not something that you do regularly and you want to build them in, like, let's just say you set yourself a goal of doing 2 lives a week. I'm going to go live 2 times this week, and I'm going to do it for 5 minutes. I'm just going to speak about the opportunity for 5 minutes, or I'm going to talk about my favorite product for 5 minutes, and give yourself that small goal that you know is really achievable. Because if you set out to do like a half hour, like, I'm going to do a full opportunity call for half an hour, it's going to freak you out. It could possibly freak you out and completely turn you off. But 5 minutes is very achievable, and is a good way to just like get in practice and just get that habit going. Because sometimes you just got to get going, right? Step into action. So that's market partner recruitment. Something else I wanted to talk about was social media. We did have a bit of chat in the team chat about social media. I think someone was asking about engagement on their reels, and we kind of got into a little brief chat about that. But all I have to say about social media is, when you're posting something, if you're creating a reel, you want to be adding value. Like, if you don't know your pillars, it's a really, really good idea to sit down for at least like 5-10 minutes and nut out what your 5 pillars are. And pillars is 5 things. One of them will be Monate. 4 other things that you want your page to be about, things that you love, things that you like to share about, things that you're really knowledgeable on. If you're not sure what your pillars are, it could be something that you feel that is your like gift to give to your community, like something that you know a lot about, or you feel very comfortable speaking about, or something that you feel like has been a big lesson for you that you have to pass on to the world. And that sounds really, really massive, but that's a good way to think about your pillars. Like, what is something, like, what would be my legacy? Like, if I were to go tomorrow, what would I want to pass on? What would I want to tell others? What imprint would I want to make on the world? Like, that's such a huge thing to say, but like, that's exactly what your pillars are. And they will help you, like, creating content targeted towards your pillars will help you call in the community that is for you. It'll help call in those people that are going to be your customers, that are going to be your team, that are going to run with you. They're going to call in those people that are just like you, and they're going to be part of your team. So pillars, super important for creating content that is to create, pillars really are important, but using what was I saying before? value in those pillars. So you're actually offering something out to your community. So that's a little bit about social media. Did you guys have anything that was coming up for you lately that you wanted me to chat on before I go into a bit of product? Yeah, I'll take you off mute.
Hello.
Hello.
I've already spoken to Mel about this actually, but um, so it's kind of about cold messaging.
Mm,
Um, so I had in my mind a friend who I thought would be really great to sign up as a market partner. And she was watching on my stories for ages, and I was just kind of waiting for her to reach out. And then a few days ago, I saw that she had signed up as a market partner. With one of the more popular Monat ladies who I'm guessing has just slid into her DMs and offered it to her.
yeah.
And she's taken it.
Oh,
Um,
it's a bit
yeah,
disappointing.
so I kind of like feel like I could have messaged her first about it.
So you had never
Um,
spoken to her about it?
no.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
um, I didn't really want to force it onto anyone, and
Yeah.
I know that she had been watching all of my stories about it, so I know she was like following along with me, and I was kind of just waiting for her to voice her interest. And I was right, obviously, that she would be interested, but it was just with someone who kind of got to her first, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had written off cold messaging people. I mean, I know she was an acquaintance slash friend, so it's not really cold messaging, but I'd kind of written that um, mode of communication off with the business, and now I'm feeling like maybe there is a way I could do it
Mm,
without being that like cringy
mm,
boss babe girl,
mm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I totally hear you. And I've had something similar happen to me where I was like, oh my gosh, I had my eye on her and she's joined someone
Mm.
else. I hadn't even
Yeah.
spoken to her before. In any situation, and even like yeah, with that, I completely trust that people will end up in the team that is meant for them.
Yeah.
So sometimes you do need to let stuff like that, let those people go, and just trust that, she was meant for that person. And maybe,
Mm.
maybe if I would have reached out anyway, it wouldn't have been right for her and she would have joined with them anyway. Um,
Mm.
not to say that like you're like such a beautiful leader and like everyone would want to join your team, right? Like I want to join your team. Um, but maybe it wasn't the right connection for her or something. There was something else about that person whoever it was, that's going to be right for her and right for her business. And you just have to trust that that connection there is perfect. That connection was meant to be
Mm.
that way. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, as far as cold messaging goes, I don't push it or suggest it as a regular practice like some people would, like some leaders would.
Mm.
I have in the past been like someone to go, been done that whole like, okay, I'm gonna like message 5 people today and search like my contacts for like 5 people to message or look through my followers. Um, I do occasionally, like just when I think I messaged a woman from the gym who started following me. We chat at the gym all the time, and she had like commented on one of my stories or liked it or something. And I just was like, oh, like, I'm going to ask her if she's tried the shampoo. So when it happens organically, I do it that way. So I guess it's not like completely cold because then I was like, oh, hey, Jody, like, have you ever tried Monat? They're having a really good sale right now. And then she was like, oh, no, I'm not really interested in anything at the moment. And I was like, okay, cool, like, whatever. Um, But yes, with the opportunity, sometimes if there is that person where you're like, oh my God, she's going to be perfect for this. Like, I can just see her like doing so well. Like, she would love this opportunity. Um, Go ahead. Like, I would just say, go with your intuition if that's what you're feeling. If there's something inside you that is just like, you've got to speak to this person, like, you've got to speak to them, like, message them, you've got to speak to them. If it's like that, then I would say, go ahead and do it, and just do it in the most organic kind of way possible. Which sometimes isn't organic at all. Sometimes it's just like, hey, this is a bit crazy, but you would be a really good shampoo dealer.
Yeah.
Like, it could just be simple like that. Um, and they might be like, oh, never thought of it before. And that could open a conversation. Or they might be like, I've been thinking about it and kind of been watching other people or stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not against cold messaging or like random messaging people if it feels like right in the moment, and if there's something in you, like your intuition telling you like, yeah, do it, do it, do it, but not just doing it for the sake of like ticking boxes and getting through numbers or
Mm.
anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, but it's
Yeah.
good.
Well, you've just,
That's a good
sorry,
experience.
you've
I
just
think that.
cemented what I thought anyway.
Okay, yeah, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was probably a really just good experience for you to learn from and be like, oh,
Mm.
okay, maybe I will message next time. Because you possibly, I
Yeah.
don't know, feel maybe a little bit of regret for not doing it. But
Yeah. A
yeah,
little.
you're like, oh, damn it, I should have done it. Yeah.
Yeah. I live in a small country town too, and I think the thing that's getting me the most is that she kind of knows everyone.
Yeah.
And I know it's not true, but for a while I was like, oh my gosh, I've like lost the entire town now because
Yeah,
um,
she's going to take them
she's
all.
like very well known in town.
Yeah,
But that's okay.
that's okay. There's so many other people too. And it's not
Yeah.
just the town, is it?
Yeah.
Anything else coming up?
No, that's just kind of the thing that I've been going through at the lately. Otherwise, yeah,
How's
that's
the
all.
sale been for you?
I've had lots of people interested, but no one has actually taken the step to sign up. But that's fine.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's all about like planting seeds and having those conversations now. And sometimes it takes like a few months for people to check
Mm,
out. Like, they're interested now, but then they sit on it for a couple months. They keep watching. They're watching you. They're watching your like reels. They're checking out of the before and after. So sometimes it does take a while.
yeah.
I'm going to chat about two more products. If
Mhm.
you just think of something, um, just pop it in the chat or we can talk. Um, I'm just going to talk about two, two products for oily hair and scalp. This is something that you can recommend for transition. It's also something I recommend to start on for my customers when I feel like I know that they have product buildup. So when I get a consultation back and someone says to me, I've got really oily roots, but I have really dry, frizzy ends, they're dry and terrible, it makes me think they have product buildup, like unhealthy ends and oily scalp. That was you. Yeah. So, and to be honest, I feel like it is like 60% of customers that start with Monate, or at least mine have been, um, they wash every second day, or they're feeling like oily and heavy, but their ends are really, really dry. That screams to me like product buildup, and I preempt that they are going to have at some sort of transitional phase. Like, I'd never say that to them. I'd never say like, okay, you're going to have like some really gnarly buildup being removed. But I almost expect when I check in with them that they're going to say, oh, it's feeling like a little bit oily through the back and stuff. So I've learned that getting them on a scalp scrub in their first order is going to be super helpful. Like, so the scalp scrub is something, yeah, I recommend a lot in someone's enrollment order, along with the shampoo that pairs with their scalp. And I recommend this used once a week for the first month. And then after that, just as a maintenance, like once a month. So the scalp scrub has apple cider vinegar in it. It has pink clay. The crusty granules that you feel are sugar granules, so they dissolve pretty easily. This is a shampoo and a scrub in one step. So it lathers into this very rich lather. If you're not getting a lather with your scrub, you need to add a bit more water onto your head or a bit more water into your hands when you're rubbing it between your palms, but it does become very, very thick. Some people do like to shampoo after it if they don't feel like they got a good clean, but honestly, it should give you a really good clean. The apple cider vinegar is really great for balancing out the pH of the scalp, which is why it's great for oily hair, and it does help to lift away product buildup. If someone is looking for more growth, or if they're on the intense repair system with the spray, with the treatment spray, the scalp scrub is also a really good pairing because you want to get that product buildup off their scalp as fast as possible. Like, you want to get them through that transitional phase, getting away of any of that buildup, so that when they're using their treatment spray and when they're using their intense repair shampoo, they're really allowing the Capixel to go to work and treat the scalp for more growth. So love this. If you haven't tried this, it's amazing. You've got this right, Lani. Yeah, so, so good. And then something else, and this is what I've been using lately that I've been loving, the purifying vinegar shampoo. So if someone comes to me and they are like, I like, if their focus is to stretch out their wash days, like super oily, like scalp is oily, I wash every day, I'm going to recommend them this straight up, like get on this. And then like once it's balanced out, then we can talk about what other shampoo that you can pair it with. Um, I don't usually recommend two shampoos in the first order. I just want to get my customers on a shampoo, a conditioner, and like a mask or a leave-in. I know some people do recommend to have two shampoos that they can alternate or use as one wash, second wash, first wash, second wash. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with doing that, but I don't usually do that for my customers. I usually only do one shampoo. So apple cider vinegar in this guy, it's a really runny shampoo. So when you use it, I always recommend my customers to kind of shake it really, really well, which helps it become a little bit more foamy in the bottle. It just thickens it up a little bit, and it does spill out quite quick. Remind them that they still do only need that 10-cent coin, because actually you can really overuse this. I noticed one of my customers buying this every month, and I was like, too much, you're using too much. Like, but yeah, awesome for clarifying. Chlorine, if you know your customer swims in chlorine regularly, like this is a good one. I like to use it on the kids after they've been in the pool, because chlorine is gross in hair, makes it feel horrible, and you want to get that out because it does build up. So this one's really good. Also, if anyone uses a lot of product, like if they are like, I curl my hair, I use like a heat protectant, I love to go in with hairspray, and like all of that kind of stuff, lift and volume spray. This is a great one too, even if they're using it just like once every couple weeks, like amazing. So those two really good for transition, really good for oily scalp. Something else you can recommend for transition, and most of you will know this, is the apple cider vinegar rinse that they can make up at home. Oops. Apple cider vinegar rinse that they can do at home, like a DIY, which is 1 to 2 parts water, apple cider vinegar to 2 parts water. Or some people do 3 parts water. I recommend also for those people that get the yucky stuff at the back, like that product buildup that starts to come out, I recommend them pour it over from the back so they can really focus on that area, because that's a hard area underneath the crown. It's a really hard area to get into when you're standing in the shower, and the water of the shower always hits the top of your head. It kind of leaves that bottom part under there, if you can see that, and leaves that bottom part like, it's like, I call it the blind spot of washing, you know, in the car, the blind spot. This is the blind spot of washing your hair. It's a hard place to get to that the shower doesn't get to either. So get your customers to tip their head over, apple cider vinegar rinse through there for transition, work it through the ends, rinse it out. and use that as a protocol for about like 2 or 3 weeks. Anything else? I don't want to keep you guys too long. I really wanted to touch base and just go through those few things. No, you're good. B, so lovely to have you here. I know you're probably unable to chat, but I will leave it at that. I think that's all I wanted to cover. Um, have a beautiful evening. Sleep well. I hope all the babies sleep well. And I will see you guys in the chat soon. Bye.